Okie dokie. Guess while we're waiting here, we're going to get a few things kind of pre-done. Nobody's in the chat yet, but we'll deal with it. All right, so we're going to make a couple of cups of rice. Blah, blah, blah. I think we'll do a full 2 cups because I can use pre-made rice in other dishes. I can do curry for tomorrow's dinner. Real easy. And if the rice is already cooked, just means one little step I don't have to do. Linda Barker, how you doing? Hopefully, I don't remember you being on the live stream last night. We should not have the kind of failure we had yesterday because I'm not making the pasta, so we should be okay. So, in the old Instant Pot here, and this is a 3-quart model. I have the regular insert, but I also got the non-stick insert, which with rice works really well. So we're going to do 2 cups of rice. Now, in most standard, if you do it on the stovetop or you do it in a regular rice cooker, you're not going to do water to the same amount. Yeah, that's just about right. So usually when you do it in the pot on the stove or in the oven, or like I said, in a rice maker, a rice cooker, you got to do more water than rice. But here with the Instant Pot, it's basically 1-to-1. Well, Linda, you got to see me make a fool of myself by not by screwing up my pasta. So fresh pasta, totally destroyed it. So I kind of looked real bad on the screen there, but had a good laugh at myself. So there we go. All right, so just like with any Instant Pot, lid on, turn to lock. I mean, why didn't he finish that? The guy's out here trimming. Why didn't he finish that? Why didn't he finish that yesterday? I mean, come on. All right. So we're just gonna put this rice off to the side for the moment, because we're gonna prepare a lot of other stuff. First. I mean, I could have started the rice earlier in the day, but we're going to be doing this rather quick on the fly, so we're not going to worry about it too much. So we got a bit of green onion. We are going to put some eggs in there, so I'm going to take out 2 nice jumbo eggs, and it says jumbo right there. All right, we're going to take a little bit of garlic. We're also going to do some gyoza, which are Japanese pork. These are filled with pork and vegetables and whatnot. So we're going to fry some of these as well. Let's see, we have some shrimp in here. Pull these up. We have chicken in here. We have some shrimp. We're going to be cutting some of this up here. A, we got it. B, we want to get rid of it. So we got some of that. We don't need anything else out of the refrigerator. We have some mung bean up there. We got chicken. We got some beef. But we are not going to be using any of that. We're going to use the shrimp because that's thawed out and whatnot. Yes, I have the non-stick insert, and I have the regular stainless steel insert that it normally comes with. The stainless steel insert's okay for most things, but when you have something that's sticky, like you say you made like orange chicken or like you make rice, things they're typically going to stick, I'll use the non-stick insert. It just works so much better. Yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a problem because they do not nest together. They take up a lot of room, but the price of convenience. There you go. So we're going to get... Oh, I must have used all that onion. Well, I guess I used my my onion yesterday. Thought I had another one in the cabinet here, but apparently not. But whatever. We will make do with what we got. Oh, I know what I needed. Here in the refrigerator, in the freezer. Well, besides the steak jumping out at me, we'll put that one in there. We're going to eat that later on. We'll eat that tomorrow sometime. But we have some mixed vegetables, green beans, carrots, corn, and peas. I wish it had lima beans in it with it as well, but you can only do what you can do. So we're just going to set that right there, I guess. Yeah, why not? Hey, good to have you there, Backwoods. Thank you for coming along. I do appreciate it. Like I said, we're going to do, we're going to, just, whip this up. Fried rice is not a complicated dish by any stretch of the imagination. So like I said, I'm going to put these eggs back. I don't need those out. So, you could do it the traditional way, or you can do it the throw it together way. Well, you see, that's the thing. If I was in an RV, I would have a whole lot more cooking apparel than what I have in this truck. Like I said, the back wall of the truck, that's right behind the driver's seat right there. So, with my hands bent like this, fingers bent, that's the front to back. The back and forth this way, it's about 7 feet, 7.5 feet, and then 6.5 foot tall, roughly. I'm 6'1", and I just have enough clearance back here to stand up without a problem. Now, you ain't jumping on the bed, you ain't doing the high wire or trapeze act, but it's enough room to deal with. So, all right. So first thing we're going to do is make everything fall, of course. But we're going to fry up some eggs or scramble some eggs. All right. So we get our hot plate going. There we go. So we can get that going. And we're going to use, like I said, we got a little bit of garlic we're going to put in that. We got some black pepper we're going to put in there. We got soy sauce we're going to put in it. And we just a little bit of oil. I wish this was peanut oil, but I could not find one in a small enough container. So we will do what we can. All right, so we got a bowl here to put our chopped ingredients in and get things, set and going. We're going to do a lot. We're going to do some prep work. Like I said, we got to cut the onions. Got to cut up our shrimp. We got to cook the rice. We got to fry the gyoza. So we got several things to do. So, but going to get our copper colored non-stick, ceramic non-stick. Get that on the fire. Let's get a trash bag out here for our garbage. And I always double up my trash bags, just because it's hard enough keeping the place clean, so, just in case I snag the bag on something that doesn't, doesn't rip everything up, a double bag there helps. So we're gonna, like I said, we're just gonna got a towel here to wipe our hands off with. So we're just gonna take, we're not trying to be super fancy, but some things, I just can't, I really just don't want to do without, and, fried rice, pasta, why I have the pasta machine, French toast, Hungarian style chicken, New York strip steak, lamb chops, there's some things I just do not want to do without, and I'm lucky enough to be in a position where I can do those things. So just a little touch of oil. We don't want to make this too oily. So whipping up really, really well. Now, if I was making an omelet, I typically would do 3 eggs with an omelet, a little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper, and a little bit of water to help it get a little more fluffy. But we're not making an omelet, we're just doing scrambled eggs, and I want the eggs to be a little bit dense. All right, so make sure that oil is all around and hot. Put that in there like that. Set that bowl out the way. Pair of chopsticks, one of the most valuable tools I have that I just love using. So we're just gonna keep that on the heat. We're just gonna stir until the egg, kind of like milk, kind of curdles. So let's see here. I know the camera isn't the best, but so it'll solidify as you move it around. Hey, Matthew Johnson, good afternoon or evening, depending on where you are. I am out here in Washington State in Pacific time. That's why this cooking is a little bit later. So starting at 4:10 for me. I know it makes it a little bit later on the East Coast, but eating dinner at 3 o'clock on the East Coast is not always great. So what's for dinner? Well, like it says on the screen, we're going to make some shrimp fried rice. All right. So the eggs are done. So we're just going to get another bowl here. And like I said before, these bowls here, these gray bowls, I got these bowls here. I think I got 4 of them, 50 cents a piece at Walmart. Stain resistant, microwave resistant, safe. I mean, I've had the most staining chili and curry sauces in this. Doesn't take any kind of stain whatsoever. All right. So now we got our eggs done. Just going to set that off to the side there. Those will cool. All right. We're going to take a towel here. Well, so we have really no more use for the hot plate, so we're just going to set that on the floor. Right there. There we go. And hopefully that doesn't burn the truck down. All right, so this is dirty, and we are going to give it a quick. Where the hell did I do with everything? No, you set everything up. Then, of course, as soon as you need it, you can't find it. All the freaking paper towels are missing now. Oh well. Okay, that's just going to have to sit off to the side. We're just going to tuck that under there. What you don't see doesn't happen. Oh, upstate New York, where you at? You up near Syracuse? You over towards the Pennsylvania side? Up near Albany, Buffalo? Where you at? All right, so now we need our cutting board, which we got right here. Like I said, I got this one from Walmart. It's got the flowers on the one side, which I never cut anything on this side. I'm sure the paint that they use is kind of safe to eat, but this side has nothing on it, so this is the side I always use. So we're going to get this blankets out of the way here. Oswego. I've been up through there. Haven't stopped in Oswego, but I've been within like a 20-mile radius, I think twice. But, that's, kind of neither here nor there, but there you go. All right. So while we're prepping some of our other food here, we're going to go ahead and cook the rice. So on the Instant Pot, right here, make sure your valve is set to sealing. This has a button for rice. Bam. Just click it, set it off to the side, and you're good to go. Then once the rice is done, then we're going to start frying up some of the other things. We're going to get our gyoza, our pork dumplings, kind of like dim sum, but it's Japanese. It's a Japanese version of dim sum. 10 years in Japan growing up, that's what I like. So that's what we got. Hard to get away from it. So we are going to get a couple more bowls here. So we got another bowl we're going to use one bowl for the gyoza. When they get fried up, we're going to throw them in there. Put a little bit of aluminum foil on top to keep them hot. And we're going to we got some here, another bowl here for our shrimp, which we're going to cut up. We're going to dice that up. And our green onion, we're going to dice up a good amount of that. And then once everything is really set to go, let me stick this up out the way, put the rice back. Once everything's ready to go, it's going to go in the pan, quick toss, soy sauce, garlic, black pepper, get it all just kind of merged together, just kind of just like a salad, just mix it all together, put it in a bowl, pair of chopsticks, some fresh raw soy sauce on the top, and chow down. So like I said, it's not a mystical thing. It's one of the super simple things to do. All right, so let's go ahead and get some onion cut first. Why not? So we're going to take 3 or 4 of these because I like my green onion, and probably I'm going to use more of these for the simple fact that we don't have any regular onion. I forgot that I used my last one with the chili. I thought I had another one in the pantry here, but whatever. So we're gonna do 4 of these. Make this our primary onion in the dish. And of course, they're getting old, so they're not looking as nice as they could. So we're going to be doing our trimming. We'll peel off the outer layer that's not as appetizing. There we go. And we'll just cut that off. A little more of the green would be nice, but you got to do what you got to do. I'll put that up there. Pardon me. There we go. So we're going to, considering how much I got here, I got very little. Put that out the way. There we go. So we got this amount of onion. We'll grab the rest of them. Might as well go ahead and use it up. I really had no plans for these for any other meals. So we're just going to throw that in here real quick. So, as you would do at home, just trim off the roots. Take off the outer layer here. That's a little bit substandard. Trim off the really wilted bits. That, there we go. And we will do the same with this last one. I think that might be as good as we can hope for. Right there. Peel that one off too. There we go. And right about there, I think. So we're not going to be trying to make this anything beautiful. We're just going to quickly chop it. And just like with any kitchen at home, be careful with the knife. And a sharp knife is less dangerous than a dull knife. A sharp knife will cut you. A dull knife will cut you and tear and rip and pull and tug on your flesh and actually cause more damage. I'd rather be cut by this sharp knife than something that's as dull as the sheath. And like I said, Nathaniel, like it says on the screen, we're doing some shrimp fried rice. All right, so, and hopefully everybody else has, I'm always asking people for recipes, what they might like to see, what they like to eat, especially local stuff. So I have plans I'm going to do New York strip steak that's been marinating for a couple days. I got chicken curry. I got a possible beef stew I might do. Beef shish kebabs, maybe some lasagna, more ravioli, of course, with the pasta machine once I get some more flour. Hey, boom dia, how you doing, sir? Thank you. So, if you have any suggestions, things you want to see me try to do, just put it in the comments there, or send an email to the, to my email, thistruckerslife@gmail.com. We're going to take that right there. So, we got some pretty decent sized shrimp. Tail on, so we're just going to pull that out. Bing, bang, boom. Now, we're going to do quite a lot of shrimp because A, I want to use it up. B, I like shrimp. C, almost nobody puts in enough shrimp for me. Mr. Taylor, well, hopefully I don't screw it up or choke on it and die. And if anybody had seen yesterday's mishap with the pasta, which yes, it is on live. It's on the video list. I'm not going to take it down because I wasn't paying attention like I should have. And so we're just taking the tail part out. These are pretty decent size shrimp, so we are going to be dicing this up a little bit. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Shrimp number 14. We're going to have almost 2 dozen here going into our 16, 17, 18, 20. All right, lucky 21. We're gonna put in here. Now I'm not gonna have this all in one big pot because I don't have one big pot to put it in. I said we're using our 8-inch woks here, so just one serving at a time. Well, that's my philosophy there, Chuck. like I tell people before, I don't smoke, I don't drink, never done drugs, never did any of those things. My vice is eating, you know, and it's of all the deadly sins, gluttony is the only one that keeps you alive. And to me, it's one of those things that can give life the most pleasure. You know, why would I want to suffer with bad food? You know, in life. I mean, it's just something I just don't want to do. You know, and that's why I cook in the truck 98% of the time. You know, yeah, I'm not afraid to go to a restaurant. If anybody saw my my post on Facebook, you know, I was recently several days ago in Rugby, North Dakota, and with the load that I'm on now, and I was at the geographical center of the North American continent, and there was a nice little Mexican restaurant there. Did a very nice job. Made a great meal. I enjoyed it. It was worth its money. So, you know. I'm not afraid to go eat out. Yes, unfortunately, they're pre-cooked shrimp. But like I said, there's sometimes I have to make compromises I would not make if I had a real kitchen. If I had a countertop right where you're sitting, and I had the room where I could stand up and properly cook, and had a decent refrigerator, and a real refrigerator, and a real freezer, I wouldn't buy pre-cooked. But, you know, there you go. So we're going to cut each shrimp into like 4 pieces. So nice little morsels. You know. A, it's going to aid in heating it through. B, it's going to make the meal a little bit easier to eat as well. Now, in Chinese culture, in Japanese culture, and to some extent, you know, Korean as well, having a knife on the table to cut your own food is kind of an insult. So everything is cut to bite size by the chef. You know, it's just one of those things. You know, anything you want smaller, you bite to cut it up. So, like if you got the longevity noodles, where you have the really long, 12-foot long, one noodle per bowl. You would only cut it with your teeth. But basically everything else, you don't get a nice big 20-ounce steak and a knife to cut it with at when you're being fed at a restaurant or in somebody's house. That's just not the way you. It's just not one of those things. And the way you eat, i.e., with chopsticks, kind of comports with that. So it's like music in the language. If you notice that almost every native language matches in sort of a tone for tone manner the music that they play as traditional music, and you'll see that a lot around the world. All right, so we got all of our shrimp. So we got our green onion in there. Bing, bang, boom. We got this bowl here for the gyoza, which once the rice is done cooking, we're going to take some out, set it aside, let it cool a little bit. Now, this is not the best rice for fried rice. You want a rice that's not the glutinous rice, the sticky rice. You want rice that's kind of a little more separate. But I only keep one type of rice on the truck anyway, so you kind of make a little bit of compromise with that. So, like I said, we got a bit of garlic, soy sauce, black pepper. You can put a little bit of ginger in there. You can put a little bit of red pepper flake in there. You know, and then the other ingredients you can put into a fried rice are almost endless. So, you know, it's easy. It really is easy to make a fried rice. Like I said, it's akin to a salad. You throw everything in there, you stir it up, you put it in a bowl. There you go. You're done. So I think the rice may almost be done here. I think another minute or so. But a nice, good knife to cut with is another one of them tools that I just don't want to be without. You know, a lot of truck drivers, unfortunately, let me tilt that up a little bit. A lot of truck drivers, they will have little 12-volt plug-in lunchbox type things. They'll have a microwave for the most part. Some of them will have little barbecue grills, little George Foreman grills. They may have like a Coleman, you know, propane stove. They'll take that outside. I think I'm one of the very, very few, if not the only truck driver, at least on YouTube, that has a pasta maker. You know, that has I have, 7 or 8 pots and pans. Cast iron pan, a couple of these 8-inch woks, 2, 10-inch or 11-inch square pans, a 9-inch pan, a couple little pans like this size. I have the Instant Pot. I have 2 inserts for that. I have a wire basket, a little steamer basket for the Instant Pot. So I can make a meatloaf in there. I can steam eggs. I can make my own yogurt in that thing if I wanted to. So that's plenty cool. So we're just going to set that off to the side. Had to wait for that to cool down before I could put it out the way. So we're going to take our, let's see what we got here. And we got about 5 minutes on the Instant Pot. So we're just going to set that a little further out of the way. Well, actually, we got to move it this way. So in order to get the gyoza done all at once, we're going to get a nice larger pan here. So a nice large 9-inch pan. I mean, this is a pretty decent, it's not a perfect nonstick, but this is a pretty decent nonstick for a ceramic. But I've never really had anything really stick to it unless I'm the one screwing up the cooking. So let's take a look at this. Okay, so we got several of these in here. Now, these are thawed. Normally, they're going to be frozen. So these are going to cook really quick. But here is the typical shape of a gyoza. Right? Looks like a kind of man-of-war jellyfish. Going to get those out on a plate here. See how many we got. And because these are thawed out, I did not have a whole lot of room with what I bought recently at the store. So some things had to come out and get used. And this was one of those things that I just got to get rid of it. So we got 10. Yeah, we got 12 of these gyoza here. Nope. We got lucky 13. There we go. So like I said, this got a little bit of pork and onion and cabbage and whatnot in it. The recipe can vary, but So we're going to take these We're going to fry them in a little bit of oil, low temperature. We're just going to get them brown and crisp and warm through. Then we're going to cover them with a little bit of soy sauce on top, let them sit. Then everything else we're going to do, we're going to throw right into the pan and just mix it all together. Like I said, our frozen vegetables, we really don't need to thaw out because, you know, they're very small. They're going to heat up fairly well. Yes, very much like a pierogi. Very much like a pierogi. The wrapper is your typical wonton style wrapper. You know, like I said, it's basically dim sum, pierogi, you know, little, you know, that type of food. I love my pierogi. I've been searching for a good pierogi recipe for 30 years. I have not found one that compares to what I've had from my Polish neighbors in Baltimore. And, you know, trying to get a recipe out of an old grandma is like cracking the safe at Fort Knox. You ain't doing it. It's one of the things they always say, it's dying with me. It's like, okay, you know, I guess I'm hiring a hitman. you know, I'll get it out of you one way or another. So we got this ready. Set that right here. Hopefully it won't tip over. Our vegetables are ready. Our onion and shrimp is ready. Our rice is almost ready. Our egg is ready. Oh, we put that dirty one down there. No problem. All right, but like I said, Mr. Ross Romes, how you doing, sir? Hopefully, London and the surrounding boroughs of the city are doing well. My typical sports drink here. Pardon me. See, I like the Powerade Zero. They have a new one called Powerade Ultra that has more electrolytes in it, but this has no sugar, zero calorie for the most part. It's a lighter flavor than the regular Powerade. I prefer these better. Yep. All right, rice is done. So let's release the pressure on that. We can actually go ahead and unplug it. Bing, bang, boom. Get our hot plate plugged in. There we go. Get that warmed up. Like I said, we're going to throw in a little bit of canola oil. Then we'll just pile this in the pan, brown them, turn them a couple times, and then we will be. Then we'll just take them out, set them off to the side. Grab a little bit of aluminum foil here to keep them somewhat warm. Yeah. So a little bit of aluminum foil, or for Ross there, aluminium. Want to make sure we don't exclude anybody. Even though you're pronouncing it wrong, Ross, aluminum, not aluminium. You don't need that extra I. Yeah, like I said, canola oil, it's okay. It has very neutral flavor. It doesn't really, it does pretty good at higher temperatures, but I prefer peanut oil. I just like the way it performs. I like the way it's just a better oil in my opinion. I don't like vegetable oil. I'd rather use bacon or butter, but those are lower temperature oils. Yes, Ross, we all know you did, and we appreciate it. Now, we're going to throw a little bit of American arrogance at you. We just do it better. Hey, believe me, as an Anglophile, as someone who loves British culture, especially British comedy. I love hearing the words, the way they're pronounced, and some of the words we don't use. But we got to have a little fun poking at each other, right? Because we are two people separated by a common language. All right, that is just about ready. And yes, take the temperature with the hand, not in the pan, just above the pan, feeling it. All right, so a little touch of the secondary oil. So we just enough to give a nice coating on the bottom of the pan. Now, unfortunately, the truck is not perfectly level, so the oil is going to pool on one side or another. So we're just going to, like I said, these are thawed, so they're going to cook a lot easier. We don't have to really worry about crowding the pan, because normally in Japan, when you go to a restaurant that serves these, A, they're going to be handmade for the most part. B, they're going to cram like 6 or 7 in the pan themselves. I don't know what you did with my paper towels. I don't know where I put them. Is that them there? Yeah, hiding them on me. You're hiding them on me. So we're just going to take those little bits there, wipe that off real quick, just to try to keep it a little bit cleaner. We're just going to throw that on the floor. We're going to turn that down, so we don't want to burn those. We just want to cook them, like I said, warm them through for the most part. Well, Terry, Ratman Rodden, sorry about your tires. That's number one. Basically, I'm self-taught. Not very well self-taught, but self-taught. I just always loved cooking. I always loved eating. And in order for me to get what I wanted, I had to watch a lot of TV, a lot of, just trial and error to, get a bit of competency, a bit of understanding of how things are done. Which, believe me, I've had some pretty disgusting mistakes. Like last night, just wasn't paying attention, put too much water in my pasta. It was a big goopy mess, and I didn't get to have the real Cincinnati chili. I had to do a secondary, a substandard version. All right, so we got, let me grab it. I'm just going to use a pair of tongs for these because nice and big, nice and gentle. So getting a little bit of color on these. We just want to flip them around. We don't want them super dark and burnt. Get that in right. Turn that up just a little bit. But I have worked in restaurants. Worked at Pizza Hut. I worked at a surf shop there in Japan when I was a kid, and they had a little lunch counter there, so made ramen, made salads and all that. A lot of traditional Japanese type fast food. At basically what they call an izakaya, which basically it's a ramen shop. It kind of was, just more of a coffee shop, but they did that as well. So yakitori, yakisoba, fried rice, gyudon, which is beef over rice, tendong, which is tempura on rice, chahan, fried rice, gyoza, ramen, soba. I did all that stuff. And I learned a good deal from that. You know? Well, I like learning. You know, so that's one of those things. I enjoy the process of learning. So that's why on my phone, or on my iPad actually, when I'm driving down the road, I don't want to listen to satellite radio. I listen to a podcast, virology, engineering, math, history. You know, I have Audible books where I get a lot of history books from, and a lot of science books from that, and listen to that, you know, during the day as well. You know, because when you're doing 400 or 500 miles a day, especially out in the wilds of Kansas and Oklahoma and Nebraska, North Dakota, there's nothing really to see. You need something to keep your mind stimulated. So, you know, I do that. All right. We're just going to toss them. There we go. There we go. Like I said, normally I cook these from frozen, but we're going to do it just like that. So, we're going to take a bit of paper towel, because it's going to have the oil on it, so we're just going to throw it in there, like that. Then we're going to get ourselves a bit of aluminum foil here. There we go, just throw that out the way. So we'll just throw that on top, and just grip it around, keep it nice and hot. And then we can, like I said, we can get everything else in proper place. We'll just take another piece of paper towel here. Set this down here so it doesn't stain that up. But let's look at our rice here. So the rice is, whew, there we go. Just set that on the ground. So we can take this out this way. So a nice non-stick thing of regular white rice. Like I said, I made 2 cups. I'm gonna let that sit. You know, that's more than enough for today. Mr. Charles Brandt, thank you. Happy Memorial Day to you as well. And remember, Memorial Day, if you look up the history of how it started, it's a very American idea. It's not just remembering the veterans. It's remembering the dead veterans, the people who gave everything for every one of us, whether it was back from the Revolution on up to now, through the Civil War, Spanish-American War, World War II, Korea, Vietnam, the Gulf Wars, and everything in between, and everything to come in the future, which we want never to have again. But I am grateful that I grew up around the military. I'm a Navy brat. I grew up overseas on military bases, moved around every couple of years, and I am eternally grateful that I have lived in a time where I did not have to go to war. There were enough people who volunteered when I was at that age that I could be drafted. And I am eternally grateful to every veteran who is still alive and every veteran who gave their life. You know, it's just something that, if you value the freedoms we have and the pretty much the utopia we pretty much live in almost, you know. Yeah, we have a little bit of problems here and there, but for the most part, we really don't suffer that much. And those men and women who have given of themselves to defend those ideals and our basic freedom in our lives, You know, I think one day or even just a weekend is never enough to say thank you to those men and women. And you know, I felt that way when I was a snot-nosed, stupid punk kid living on a military base in Yokosuka, Japan, Yokohama, Japan, Atsugi, Camp Zama, Iwakuni. You know, on Navy bases, on Marine Corps bases. Then here in the States, you know, up in Bremerton, Washington, Alameda, California, Patuxent Ribbon, Maryland. You know, you just really can't appreciate, you know, what somebody's willing to give, you know, of themselves until you see it in action. Now, of course, as a stupid kid, stupid teenager, you know, all the extra rules you deal with, you know, being on a military base, being in another country, you don't appreciate it then. You grow up, you start using your brain for a change, and you do. Gina Payne, glad to have you here. Like I said, we're getting a little bit of color on there. I hope you can see a little bit of color on that. So we got everything pretty much ready to rock and roll. So another couple of minutes with this in the pan. Then we're going to get started actually frying the rice up. All right, so shrimp and green onion. Standard mixed vegetables. Black pepper. Garlic. The only soy sauce I will ever use, Kikkoman brand soy sauce. All the other soy sauces out there suck. All right, so we are going to, it's not the correct bowl to use, but using our nice ramen bowl, which this bowl is imported from Japan. If anybody wants to know where I got these from, I'll be more than happy to do that. Just shoot me an email, thistruckerslife@gmail, and I will gladly point you in a direction to buy this type of bowl. They have many styles, but this is the closest one to what I remember as a kid. Well, Gina, you have all those cats. Why isn't it nice to meet you? I think they would enjoy that. All right, toss those around. All righty. Let's turn that off. So we see some good color on those, which is precisely what we want. So we're just going to take those right into there. Like I said, we got a little bit of paper towel in there to drain off the excess oil. Just going to set that down right on top of the rice, just so I have a place to put it, you know, because the carpet in here, it's not a natural fiber. It's polyester, nylon, whatever. So not going to set that directly on the floor. That's why I only have cotton, kitchen towels. That way I can put a hot pan on it. It's not going to burst into flames. It's not going to melt. I've had those. They don't absorb water. They don't absorb, cleaning up anything. So sauces and other things like that, they don't absorb it. Regular, good old-fashioned, natural fiber cotton. Great for handling hot stuff. Great for setting hot things on. Cleans up better. Washes a lot nicer. It just works a lot better. So use that. All right, so we got our wok here, little 8-inch wok. Let me get a little spatula out here for our rice. Bing, bang, boom. And we need a pair of clean. Well, nope. Here we're gonna use a nice bamboo spoon to stir the rice with, the the fried rice with. In. So we can eat properly. Got a nice pair of chopsticks, so we are ready to rock and roll. So, that's it. Gyoza's done. Keep those nice and warm. There we go. We're just going to set that off to the side there, I think. Just like that. There we go. Let that get hot. All right. Just going to throw that down there. These are the dirty chopsticks. We're going to throw that right down there on that plate. We got our egg, shrimp, and onion. We got our rice. We got our mixed vegetables. We got our other seasonings. Well, that's the whole point of it, Gina. I'm not here to make you want to go on a diet. I mean, well, I guess if you're watching me, you might want to go on a diet the way I look. Because you don't get this down here from not eating Cheetos. You get this from, gorging yourself on everything under the sun. When you'll eat one of these cans in one meal, refried beans, you'll eat one of those with, 12 tacos in one sitting. You kind of... All right, so that's starting to smoke a little bit. I'm going to move that pan down. Yep. Take that up. What do I do with my spatula? Oh, there's my spatula. So, this is the problem with not having, things, not having a counter. So, a little touch of oil. Smush that all around. The oil will take a little bit of heat out of the pan, so we're good for that. Like I said, this is not the best rice. There we go. Point that down here, I think. There we go. So we got our bowl ready. This will have some sticking going on, but I expect that. That's why I have two of these pans. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of our garlic. Yes, I'm just going to use my fingers here. A little pinch of that. Quick little grind of some black pepper. There we go. Going to take a little bit of the shrimp. A bit of the onion. There we go. Got a little more shrimp in there. Set that up to the side. A little bit of the egg. That's about one whole egg right there. See, not the most conducive wok, but for one serving, it works. Get that mixed up there a little bit. There we go. And of course, just going to grab a little bit of this, kind of break it up there. A little bit of the mixed vegetables. Yeah, got that ice all over my leg there now. Woo. A little chili. Now, unfortunately, the pan will never be able to get hot enough, just because it's it's a little hot plate. It's not a gas stove. It's not I just can't get it to the actual temperatures I want. And secondly, I don't have the room to do so. Well, Gina, thank God you're going blind. I appreciate it, though. I'll take any compliment I can get, even though I know it's a lie. How many hours do I drive in a day typically? Well, I'm not in the same position that a lot of, regular quote-unquote van drivers are. They have the fully enclosed trailer. I do heavy haul, flatbed. I often have to wait for permits. I have to weigh. I have to do a lot more stopping to check my load on a more regular basis. I have to worry about, a lot more factors than most, normal truck drivers have to worry about. I drive an open deck, trailer. I don't drive a big enclosed box. They can drive as long as they want without stopping at any point in time. I unfortunately have to stop, on a regular basis to check that load. So, but typically 9 hours, 9.5 hours. There are times where I drive almost the full 11 hours in a given day. There we go. Little touch of the old soy sauce, which, like a lot of ingredients, the soy sauce flavor will change as you cook it, as it mingles in with the other ingredients. So that's why I like some soy sauce in it. And also when I'm actually cooking, so you get that cooked flavor and that raw flavor. It's like with Italian cooking. You'll have some basil or oregano in the meal, in the dish itself, and then you have some on the top, raw, to give you those contrasting flavors, so it complements everything. But like I said, typically around 9 hours is typically the most I drive in a day. 10 hours sometimes. Sometimes, let's see, Saturday. I left Missoula, Montana, Saturday at 7 a.m. I got here to Omak, Washington, with crossing the time zone, going westward. I basically drove 6 full hours. All right. There we go. All right, so pretty much done. Now, not as loose as you're going to get from a Chinese restaurant or, even a Japanese restaurant that makes fried rice. But like I said, I only have one type of rice, which unfortunately causes, a bit of sticking issues. I do not want to use that much oil to combat that, so there is a little bit of sticking in the pan. But, I'm willing to live with that. It's not a bad thing. Let's put that down there. Oh, people are just making noise out there. So we're going to turn that power off. The burner is still hot, so I'm going to try to keep as far away from it as I can. All right. So let's take let's get this out the way. Don't need that anymore. There we go. So a nice bowl of fried rice, egg, shrimp, your standard mixed vegetables, rice, a little bit of onion. Now, I wish I had some regular white onion or yellow onion. You can use red onion if you want. We'll put 5 of these up here. There we go. We'll leave the lucky ones out a little bit later. There we go. There. Nice and hot. And then you take a nice bit of drizzle. There we go. A little bit of drizzle over everything, just to give it that little extra salty flavor. Let's see, Linda, what does Linda say? Am eating, son made me rib eye steak. All right, fire roasted tricolor baby potatoes. Nice. Orange and yellow peppers with onions over the fire with hickory wood. Oh, man. Why the hell am I eating this? I want some more heads up before, I could have made it over to where you are. If you got someone cooking for me that's going to do all that, damn, I'm eating this. Oh, man. All right, let's see here. FedEx delivering packages, going OTR flatbed. No, well, it's just like with everything else. It just takes time to apply yourself, backwoods. I think we've talked about this before. You know, just apply yourself. Nobody can teach you anything. Nobody taught anybody anything in the all recorded history of mankind. People learn because they want to learn. You know, we've all seen those kids in school who just did not want to listen to the teacher. They did not want to learn. The teacher's doing the exact same thing for this student, and this student. But if the one over here on the left doesn't want to learn, there's nothing the teacher can do. You have to have a willingness to learn. And as long as you do that, you can accomplish anything you want. You know, I wish I was 27 again so I can make all the same stupid mistakes in a different way. you know, being a little bit facetious there, of course, but, if you want to do it, don't hesitate. Go do it. Now, yes, right now it's a little bit touchy, with the economy the way it is because of the stupidity. But when things get back rolling like you want, like we all want, things settle down, people stop panicking, and we can get back to the normal, not the new normal. I don't like the new normal. New normal is disgusting to me. I want the old normal. I want the normal that we've had for generation after generation. But like I said, for me, there's only one piece of major advice, backwoods, I would ever give you. Do not go to one of the big truck driving companies, Prime, Swift, CR England, Millis, Melton, any company like that to get your CDL license. Save your money, save enough for the tuition, save enough money to live off of while you go to a real, separate, independent truck driving school. Now, yes, their only job is to get you to that license. How you approach it up here is completely up to you. That's the only real advice. Those two things. Don't go to those companies. Save your money and go to a regular school, and you'll be better off. That way, you're not locked into a company that's going to treat you like crap, and you have the freedom to go anywhere you want to do the type of truck driving you want. Let's see here. Well, Charles, that's the aim. We definitely want to make you hungry to make you try something like this. Chicken with rice, that works for me. I do it all the time. It's fast, it's easy. Throw some curry sauce on it. Just throw butter and tarragon on it. Just fry it in a pan. Do it as a skewer with some onion and some bell pepper and some mushrooms. It's infinite. Just do it the way you like it. And well, that's the thing, Linda Barker. I do not like my fried rice greasy. I don't mind fat. I have zero problem with fat. But when it's just greasy and it's like, ugh, I don't like that. Let's see here. Yep. And that to me is, the thing. But that's why I like cooking myself. Let's take a look at that. So a little bit of gyoza on top here. Big bowl of fried rice. Here's my hand size for comparison. A little bit smaller than my hand, spread out. But nice and, the sticky rice helps to hold it together a little bit, makes it a little bit easier to eat sometimes. But lots of shrimp, and everything else there is to complement that. So, then of course the pork dumpling, Normally, at a restaurant or in a house, I'd have a little small bowl with some soy sauce to dip this in, but there you go. Just enough. Just cook through enough to make it good. Like I said, you know, a good fried rice, almost all parts of the rice are roughly the same exact size. And I find that if it's done right, it's not an overpowering dish. It's just one of them old-fashioned, just stick to your ribs kind of meal. You know, not overly spiced, not too much of this, too much of that. It's like right in the middle. Just like, let me just make quick fried rice. Bing, bang, boom, you're done. Well, backwoods, you know, that is a common thing with a lot of drivers. And there's a couple things. I'll try to enumerate them as I go along, but one, you must have a positive attitude. You must have it up here first. That's the number one place you got to deal with your health. And I talked this a little about yesterday or Friday. You know, it's your health mentally, emotionally, and I put emotional and spirit together. Then it's physical. And it's your diet. And it's the other things that you do, like supplements, vitamins, and exercise that go into that. My job is basically the same as an office job. I am sitting for 9, 10, 11 hours a day. Just because my office is rolling down the road at 65, 70 miles an hour doesn't make any difference. It's still sitting. The suspension on the truck helps. The position of my seat helps a lot. But like I said, it starts with the mental game. It comes down into the emotional and spiritual side. You know, that helps, you know, keep your health in equilibrium. And then, like I said, how you eat, how you take care of your body with exercise, and the other, like I said, the other parts of nutrition with like supplements and whatnot. All of that combined affects how your body is going to react in that chair. If you don't have it starting up here first and working its way down, there's nothing as far as back support and the position of your chair that's going to help. You got to start, you know, you got to start up here first. You have to have the mentality to be able to do the job first. Like, it's just like being a doctor. You cannot be a doctor if seeing somebody sick makes you throw up, makes you sad, emotionally tears you up. You can't do that. You can't have somebody who is, you know, so empathetic with somebody that they take on that problem into themselves. They just can't function. You have to have a certain amount of detachment as a doctor, as a psychologist, as a counselor to be able to do that job. Now, some people would say that's cold, that's unfeeling. No, it's a necessary psychological and emotional defense to be able to do that. And the same with being a truck driver. Hey, speaking of truck drivers, Trucker Z, how you doing, sir? You missed the cooking portion, but we made some fried rice with some gyoza. And and if you want to talk about being a truck driver, ask Trucker Z for his opinion on, you know, how you deal with the job physically with sitting all day. I was a cyclist for 30 years. I was an arborist for 30 years. I was climbing trees and I was a landscaper. I was walking. I was always physical. I was always sitting or doing something. Now, being the arborist and being a tree cutter, yes, that did affect my shoulders, did affect my back. It affected my knees a little bit, but not as much as riding a bicycle for 30 years and every single week putting about 250 or 300 miles on a bicycle every single day. Or, I'm sorry, every single week. Nobody rides that much in a day. But like I said, every week, putting a lot of miles on the bike. 12, 14, 25 hours on a bicycle seat, doing that kind of work, affected your back. It affects your hips. It affects my knees. That's what really hurt me the most in my time doing that activity. So when I sit in my seat, some people think I have my seat low and all the way back to look cool. That ain't happening. I ain't looking cool. You can't make this look cool. Unless I wear a Fonzie mask, I'm not looking cool. I do it because I sit my seat all the way down and all the way back for the simple fact that, one, that gets my knees a bit higher than my hips, which removes the pressure in my hips. It rotates the pressure a little bit and makes it a little bit more comfortable for me, like I said, for 7, 8, 10 hours in the seat at a time. And in every single day doing that, you have to find that equilibrium. At Trucker Z, we're having, like I said, shrimp fried rice, like it says on the screen there, and some good old-fashioned pork dumpling, gyoza. Never get tired of that. Yarn it out. Rosalie, how you doing? It definitely hits the old spot right there. And after yesterday's fiasco with the poorly made pasta that didn't quite meet its required end, I got to try to make amends with something that I can't screw up or screw up as much. Well, I hope so. Hopefully you don't get any of the snow that came through Montana, Wyoming. I think it went into Michigan here yesterday night, or I think probably yesterday night. Minnesota got a little bit of snow, but I was stuck in Livingston, Montana for 4.5 hours yesterday. Saturday. Because the snow was coming down. I'm on permits. I can't drive through snow when I'm on permits. So, 4.5 hours I sat there. I had a good pork chop breakfast because of it, so I'm not too upset by that. Got a microwave finally. Well, that's a start. That's probably the cooking tool I use the absolute least. I'll heat something up, some leftovers I'll heat up. I'll put like a Marie Callender's, chicken pot pie in there when I just don't have the time to actually cook. Sometimes I'll do that, but that's the tool I use absolutely the least. Pot and pan. That's where I like my food coming from. But I said it, being on the road, it is tough. Trucker Z, get rid of that lunchbox. Do yourself the favor. Get rid of that lunchbox. And pick up a 3-quart Instant Pot. This is the best size for a truck. They have the 6, 7, 8, and 9-quart versions. This is the 3-quart version. This is perfect for a truck driver. If you have a place to plug your microwave in, you have a place to do this. Stew, rice, ribs, meatloaf, cake, brownies, lasagna. You could do it all in this. This is This is probably my most valuable tool in the kitchen. I love the pasta maker. I love my cast iron pan. I love using my stick blender and my nice, decent knives. But this thing is the absolute best. And when you want to make some decent tacos or fajitas like I did the other night, got my tortillas right here. I got some chicken up in there. I got some beef in there. I can make tacos at the drop of a hat. I still got a little bit of bell pepper in there after I made the chili the other night. I can make, like I said, at a drop of a hat, I can make some tacos, some fajitas, burritos, enchiladas. Well, I really need the corn tortillas for the enchiladas, but in a pinch, I can do it with the flour tortillas. But like I said, nice dinner tonight. Yeah, well, see, that's going to be the major limiting factor. I believe the Instant Pot is 1,200 watts, so you might be limited on that. If you can get that swapped out for a 2,000 watt inverter, that'd be a little bit better for you. You'd win a lot more with that. Rosalie, why you have a beard? And why would the beard affect your vision? Now, I know I don't quite look like let me turn that brightness down a little bit. I know I don't quite look like that, I'm a little bit off of that, the old Beaker avatar, but close enough, I think. TJ, all right. Well, it's just one of the things I'm lazy when it comes to shaving, and when I do shave, I take a long time to shave, totally. But for the most part, I'm not big on the shaving. Yeah. Well, TJ, dinner is still going. This is still the first bowl. Everybody is wanting to hear me yap, but not just eat. So a good shrimp fried rice. See if I can find the doodad here. I don't know what I did with it. Oh, here it is. So, because of Mr. TJ Jones, the Bull of the Woods, watching his spaghetti cooking the other night, I picked up some Johnny's French Dip au jus. This is a bit of a concentrate. So we're going to try this out. Like I told him before, I normally make my own au jus for a French dip. But he recommended the Johnny's brand for some seasoning salt and some garlic butter mix. I didn't see that at the store at the Albertsons there in Livingston, Montana. I think it just slipped my mind. But I saw this. I said, he recommended the brand as well. So I'm going to be doing French dip in the truck. I got to find a decent bread to put it on. I got to find some decent roast beef, which is kind of difficult. I got to get some provolone cheese. And I want to find some French fries that I can do in the microwave, little microwave French fries, like some Ore-Ida that'll crisp up in the refrigerator, or in the microwave, crisp up in the refrigerator. But we're gonna try to make that in the truck in the next couple of weeks. Like I say, I got to find the right bread to go with it for a French dip. Oh, you just want me for my cooking skills? You don't want me to drive? now, Trucker Z, I know for a fact that your mother made some damn good food for you when you were growing up. And she still does today every time you're there. So don't tell me you don't know how to cook. I mean, I don't have any room in this truck for myself. You know, the only way I would share a truck this size, I mean, especially since I don't have a bunk above me, is a good woman. And right now, that's not in the cards. Rosalie there is married, so I can't do anything about that, you know. Panera, you know, kind of, there are some things at Panera that are okay, but it's one of those things that it's just always off for me. You know, it's not, it's just like, here's absolute great, here's greatness, here's good. Panera's kind of right there, you know, so. I mean, especially their bagels. It's like Einstein Brothers bagels. They're close, but they're not quite right. Well, see, with a French dip, you gotta have the right amount of absorbency of the bread without being too heavy. You gotta have the thinnest of crispy crust on the outside of the bread without being too thick. It can't be too hard. It's got to be able to, you know, absorb it, get soft right before you bite it. But if you're sitting there, you're talking with somebody, you've already dunked your bread in, it can't just turn to mush. So it's always that thing. Z, if I could, there'd be a big hole right here, and there'd be a wood-burning pizza oven. If I had the ability to do that, I would have a pizza oven right here. I'd be baking my own bread. There'd be some brownies in there. There'd be a pizza in there almost every day. You know, if I could do that, I would. But I don't know how the company would feel about me damaging their truck and reducing the capacity of the truck by about 4,000 pounds with all the clay and brick I have to put on there. All right. So, not too hard of a recipe with the fried rice. I got another big bowl serving of it. We'll make that once I complete this one. We'll slip into a little bit of a food coma for the night. All right. I am currently in Omak, O-M-A-K, Washington State. And that's a bit north and west of the Grand Coulee Dam, which I went past on my way yesterday, which was pretty nice to see for the first time. Not a bad drive. Not a bad drive at all. So once I make my delivery of these water storage tanks, I'm going to be going somewhere. Don't know. But we'll find out. I might be going to Tacoma, Washington, either to the port or real close to the port We'll find out once I make my delivery. There is a slight possibility of going back to Spokane. There's not much that I know picks up there. A lot of aluminum comes out of there, but I don't have the tarps to really do that. So, like I said, I could be going to one of the John Deere or Caterpillar dealers in the area to pick something up for a delivery somewhere. So, we'll see what we get. So there's never I never know where I'm going to go or when or where that's going to deliver to until they send it across the computer for me. So, but that's the fun of it. Always going somewhere you've never been before. Now, unfortunately, there are times where you go to the same place repeatedly, but that's okay. It's a job. Take the good with the bad. So I just want to say thank you all for joining me. I do appreciate it. And it looks like Trucker Z and Yarn It Out. See if those two characters can get together and cause some trouble up there in good old New York. I have no idea when I might get up that way again. It's been a while. But who knows? We will see. So, like I said, I want to say thank you to Trucker G, Rosalie at Yarn It Out, TJ Bull the Woods, TJ Jones, Nathaniel Lee. Let's see who else here. Backwoods PNW. Any point in time, send me an email if you want some advice on how I went about truck driving. I'll give you my phone number then. Send me an email. We can talk. Linda Barker, Virginia Payne, or Gina Payne. We'll go watch her channel as well, please. Linda Barker. Who else here? Charles Brandt. Terry and Radman Rodden. Ross Romes, all the way from England. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. Chuck Taylor, thank you much. Boom, Dia, My Daily Life. Matthew Johnson. And of course, like I said, thank you all very much for joining me. Hope you enjoyed this cooking episode. And I just want to say thank you all. Happy Memorial Day. God bless us all. God bless you individually and you and your families. And we will see you later. I will try to keep you apprised. I might do another live stream tomorrow, a quick little thing. I hit my 1,000 subscribers. I'm about 780 hours away from the 4,000 hours required. So we'll see if we get there by the end of the year, hopefully. Until then, God bless. Thank you very much. Everybody have a good night.